So, Charity.
Oh, my God, what? Come on, spit it out. Some of us can't get a word in edgeways here.
I'm not here to judge, just to listen. Take your time, Charity.
It's not even like there's much to tell. I never even met Harry before. Not till I shot him, anyway.
When you were acting in self-defense, fearing for your husband's life. It's the waterfall at Janet's Voss near Malham. What do you think?
Dunno. I mean, if I said it gave me the willies, you'd try and link it to some repressed childhood trauma or something, right? Probably why it's there. It's a conversation starter.
Going back to Harry.
Look, I'm not being funny, Una, but is this all this is going to be?
I don't follow.
Asking obvious questions. Scribbling private little notes to yourself. Not exactly Yoda-esque wisdom, is it?
Often, people find that being able to talk about difficult experiences, feel listened to in a safe space, it helps. It can give a new perspective on problems, usually for people to find their own answers.
Money for old rope for you, then.
Charity, why did you agree to come today? What do you hope psychological therapy will help you with?
Thought that would have been obvious. You're the so-called expert, aren't you? I wanted you to help me. Give me some actual decent advice. And so far, zilch. I mean, you've got no job, Una. And right now, you're bombing. Just picturing it makes me go cold. Not fair, is it? When bad stuff happens to good people. And then when Rose realises Jack's cocked it and has to push him into the sea to get into the lifeboat, and she's blowing on a little whistle. Just a wreck every time. Anyway, it's tough watch.
Meanwhile, back to you.
Just like that. I've opened up a gate here, Una. You can't just slam it shut.
OK, let's start elsewhere then.
Look, all I need is to know how to fix stuff, OK? That way, I can get out of here, you get your free half hour to yourself, job done, everyone's happy.
Unfortunately, it's not as simple as one quick fix. Especially seeing as we haven't been able to get into much so far. Tell me about Mackenzie. What kind of person he is.
Can I use your loo? I could do with a wee.
Down the hall. Second door on the left.
Smashing. Anything that wastes a few minutes is a bonus, yeah? Maybe you're crazy. Maybe we're crazy. Probably. Were you wondering if I'd come back? I can't lie, me too.
Charity, you seem anxious to talk to me, beyond anything superficial. What about something you are comfortable to talk about? Could be literally anything, as long as it's positive. A memorable day out, a pet you loved.
I had a dog when I was a kid. Shaky. I like shaking Stevens. Plus, he used to shake when he got scared. He'd been astray, so I took him home with me.
What was Shaky like?
Bit mangy, to be honest. He hadn't been looked after. But he was small enough for me to sneak into my bedroom. He used to have this funny little run. It made me laugh till I realised it was because he'd got a bad foot. I pestered my dad to let me take him to the vets. And he said there's no point. He was ready for the knackers yard. I wouldn't let it go. So he said he'd take him. Just shut me up, I'm guessing.
What happened?
I got home from school and he'd gone. My dad reckoned there was nothing the vet could do, but he wasn't throwing good money after bad.
Jake had been put down.
Or he'd got rid of him. Left him somewhere, because it was easier, cheaper. It was like... because he was a bit ropey and wonky. Could just throw him away, you know? Wash his hands, get rid. Like he was rubbish. I loved the bones, that scabby dog. Didn't even get a photo.
That must have been incredibly upsetting.
My dad did stuff like that. What are you writing?
Just an aid memoir. It's not important.
Well, show it me then. Come on, this is a safe space, remember? Abandonment issue. Before you congratulate yourself, I'm not stupid. I know I've got issues, and I know why. I've had my whole sorry mess of a life to figure it out.
Can you tell me more about your relationship with your mum?
Not really. She killed herself a couple of years later. Only my dad lied it was cancer. Before he chucked me out for getting pregnant. Made me give my baby away. It's a class act like that. I got her back in the end, though. So screw you, Daddy-o. She's called Debbie. We're good now.
I'm pleased to hear it.
After that, I had to find a way of keeping myself. Child prostitute is the technical term. Tried terrified, abused, an exploited kid. I was 13. My dad didn't even come looking for me. As grim as it goes, it don't get much grimmer. I had another baby a year or so later. Ryan. That was worse, if you can believe it. I'd met this twisted, sicko copper. He said he'd get me off the streets. He lied. It's kind of been the theme of my life, jumping from one disaster to the next. I've said it before, it's probably karma.
For what?
Plenty.
You think bad things happening to you is your fault?
A fair chunk is.
When I hear you talking about your past, I see a survivor.
Yeah. Haven't told you that I sold my son to get me out of hot water yet. All the stuff I did in prison. I've done loads I'm not okay with anymore. I've burned through more husbands and second chances than most people have had out dinners. And now I've killed someone. Taken someone's son. Nearly killed my husband. Surprised you're not writing lost cause in your little notebook.
Why would you give up on yourself?
Because I've messed it all up. Look, you wanted me to spill my guts, and yet nothing's happened. I don't feel any different. Keep seeing him on the floor after the gun went off. It's like I'm stuck there. And I can't shift this stupid knot in my stomach and stop my heart racing. I can't sleep without the meds because I'm so terrified that if I do, I'll hurt the kids or Mag again. So I'm screwed, basically.
Sometimes severe trauma manifests in physical symptoms.
Except I've done trauma by the shed load. I survive, I crack on, I come back. Why not now?
Have you heard of a stress bucket? The idea that everything difficult that happens to us gets poured in. Without the ability to empty it, manage our stress levels, it fills up, spills over. Perhaps what happened with Harry was your tipping point. All the trauma you've endured left you physically unable to handle any more stress.
What does that change, though? Still shot someone, stabbed Mac.
Charity, blaming yourself is likely to put you under more stress. You are suffering from severe post-traumatic stress.
It doesn't excuse sticking a knife in him.
How are things between you since it happened? Can you talk honestly with each other?
I'm scared that I might do something more to hurt him. The only bloke who's ever loved me back, who wasn't a narcissist or a psycho or a waster, and I've ruined it.
Charity, my hope would be that as our sessions continue, we dig deeper into previous traumas, you'll start to be able to process things that have happened to you, gain a feeling of control over your life, begin a process of acceptance and recovery.
What, and that's it? I mean, I wasn't expecting miracles, but there's literally nothing more you can tell me.
It's a process, one you're at the beginning of.
Right, well, I guess I'll see you next week then.
Great. And don't try and battle through on your own. Let the people who love you support you if they offer. Lean on them.